One of the biggest issues in moral discussion is just the indeterminacy of any particular moral theory being the one we ought to use. But not only that, it's the indeterminacy over people's language. We don't necessarily know how they're using terms, but they might be using it in ways that we think means one thing and they say sort of means something else. And it's not always clear from the start who is using what in which way. This problem is compounded by the fact that people have different levels of understanding about morality and moral language as well. And it can lead to all sorts of arguments over what's actually being said. And a lot of them are kind of pointless. I know I talk about problems with using more moral, but it's just to provide an example of this. Instead, I think we should actually try and focus on the underlying content. What I mean by the underlying content here is if we are going to have a conversation about abuse, torture, slavery, we should actually address the studies and the harm and try and remove the moral language from the conversation, because I think we could probably reach someone who might have a different moral understanding to us a lot better if we actually discuss the content rather than the morality. If we start discussing things in terms of like scientific studies around harm, perhaps the ongoing cognitive effects, the sociological effects of certain things, or we discuss things in terms of legality for legal issues, then I think we'd be able to have a much more well-rounded conversation with people, and it wouldn't matter if they're a cognitive or a non-cognitivist, or if they're a realist or an anti-realist, or, their actual moral position doesn't matter. You can all have the same conversation and give opinions about what is the best action to take without reducing it to morality.